Everybody, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you my favorite race vest, hydration vest setup, what I packed for a recent 100-mile race, ultra marathon, and probably more importantly how I packed it. To the best of my knowledge, every UK trail ultra marathon requires you to carry some form of minimum kit. So that's where we're going to start. I recently completed the Lakeland 100 and I've double checked, and the Lakeland 52, which happens on the same weekend, have pretty much, if not exactly the same kit list. We'll pack the kit that will keep you A, safe on the trails, and B, get you through kit check. So what do we need for the Lakeland 100 kit list? Well, the first thing you will need is a decent trail running pack, and I have opted for the Scott RC10 trail running backpack. The reason why I love this vest so much, it is insanely light. So the two other bits of kit I use, which I kind of class in the same vein as the vest, because I'll use those also to carry mainly my nutrition and my running poles, but they are vital in the whole setup. And the first is the Ultimate Direction utility belt. So yeah, it's got the bungees for the poles. It's super stretchy. Be careful on the sizing. I had to go for a large on this, so, and I'm about 5'6". I'm not a very big guy, so yeah, be careful on the sizing of this. But what is awesome, it's got again stretchy pockets all the way round, so you can stuff loads of bits and bobs in there. So that's an awesome bit of kit. And the next thing I go for is the Scott Hybrid Kinetic RC shorts. Again, these are unbelievably light. They do have another version. I appreciate these are quite expensive, but the reason why I love these, A, yes, they're super duper light, and B, they've got lots and lots of stretchy pockets all the way around. Okay, so that's how I'm actually going to hold all this kit. Now let's see what is on the Lakeland 100 and Lakeland 50 kit list. First off, waterproof trousers with taped seams. That's really important. Lakeland 100 this year, end of July, weather was pretty good building up to it, and now we're in the middle of a heat wave. But the people who were doing the 50 and maybe the mid packers onwards from the Lakeland 100 got drenched. Lots and lots of water on that Saturday evening. So yeah, tape seams, super important. And you'll fail kit check. If you turn up with some trousers without tape seams, you will not get through. Next on the list is, same again, a waterproof jacket with taped seams and also a hood. Very, very important. This could literally be the difference between hypothermia and finishing the race or finishing up in hospital. Next up is a long sleeve spare base layer. It's on the kit list. Just leave this in a sealed bag. Hopefully you'll never ever need it to keep you warm, just in case you either come to a stop or start moving really slow. And to back that up, you've got some base layer bottoms. Again, don't scrimp on these. Don't have lights, don't have 3/4 length tights. I think all that will fail the kit check. They have to be full length base layer bottoms. Next two items which are really important is either a hat or a buff. They do allow buffs, and what is good actually, you get a buff, or you did this year at least, you get a buff at registration. You get a Lakeland 100 or Lakeland 50 buff. So if you do forget your hat or your buff, you can get one of these. Also some gloves. Again, you know, you might think, July, my goodness, am I going to need gloves? Yeah, there is a very good chance you'll need gloves. Next up is the road book and map. Again, don't stress out about these. You'll be supplied with these at registration. Next one is a compass, and if you're not familiar with using a compass, then probably a good idea to familiarize with that. But yeah, that is on the kit list too, compass. Next one is a pretty basic first aid kit, to be honest, but this has a few dressings, some tape and some blister plasters. That should get you through kit check. Next up is some emergency food. There's loads of controversy about this. What is emergency food? How much emergency food? I think they say roughly 2 bars of something. I go for the cheer charge. Flapjacks, that needs to just stay sealed up in your backpack, not to be eaten as part of your normal race nutrition. This is just purely for emergency. Next up is head torch, decent head torch. Hopefully, you know, you may be done within the 24 hours, or roughly say 24 hours, you don't go into the second night. But there's a very good chance you will go into the second night, and for that reason, and just for general malfunction or battery shortage, you'll need some spare batteries. Or what I opt for is just a second head torch. Thankfully, both times I never needed the second head torch, but I know people who have gone well into the second night, so they've used all their batteries or 2 head torches, so super important. A little whistle, got to make sure it works. They'll test that or kit check, so yeah, make sure you've got a whistle and make sure it works. Mobile phone, you could opt for a smartphone if you wanted, or you could be like me and want to go as light as possible, and I will just get some this is just a cheap Nokia. I'll swap the SIM cards out, make sure this is fully charged, so that'll keep you safe if you need to make a call or receive a call. Next up is a bivy bag. You can use a foil blanket, I think, for the Lakeland 100. That is allowed on the kit list. It's really up to you. These things are so light, there's not much in it, to be honest, but if you are going to use the foil blanket, do not cut it down and make it as small as possible. You're really just kidding yourself, because not every time the race goes to plan, and if you need to keep yourself warm, then you know, a little hand towel size foil blanket will just not cut it. So yeah, bivy bag or a good size foil blanket. Oops, next up is a cup, a hard cup. This is mainly to cut down, you know, wasted checkpoints. Very mindful these days that races, maybe say 5 years ago, there was hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of cups just being used and used and used by runners. So now it's awesome. We need to carry a hard plastic cup. So if you want a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or some soup at a checkpoint, you need to carry a cup. Also, oops, because I probably wouldn't stop personally and have a hot drink when I'm in the middle of the race, but I would have a cold drink, and then I'll carry this little squashy cup just so I can have say some flat Coke or flat dandelion burdock or some water. So I will have this just ready in one of my little pockets or belts, just easy to get to as I go into a checkpoint. But don't use this for a hot drink. My goodness me, it'll collapse immediately and you could scald me or yourself or somebody on the checkpoint. So that's purely just for cold drinks. Next up is obviously you'll need your soft flask. This is about ½ a litre. Little tip, what I did this year though, in my drop bag, say at Lakeland 100, you were allowed a drop bag to pick up at Dalemain. And one of the things I did put in there was a spare water bottle, just in case I got to Dalemain in the morning and I just thought this hydration method just wasn't enough. Last but not least, controversial, I think Spork is a brand, so I'm not too sure exactly what you call these, but if you want to eat anything hot at a checkpoint, rice pudding, broth, stew or anything like that, you'll need one of these. Now they do, again, you're really lucky, they do give you one at registration. So this is all the kit. How are you going to fit all of this into your backpack, utility belt and shorts? One thing we do need to also think about is your nutrition. Now, from the start to the Dalemain estate, say on the Lakeland 100 where you pick your drop bag up, it's roughly, I think it's like 60 miles. So you need to carry a lot of food. So what I do, I try and carry things that I know won't be available at the aid stations. I know there will not be like electrolyte energy drink, and I use the Active Root product. Also, I get electrolytes too from the Chi Charge Flapjack. This is just the classic Chi Charge Flapjack with a bit of sea salt. It really cuts through all of the gels and stuff like that you might be consuming on the day. But what I do think is awesome for a few reasons, Active Root do a gel mix. In this little pouch here, you can have, I think it's up to 4 gels. They have like a powdered drink, which you mix with water. And then in this little thing here, you have 4 gels. Two things, this is why this is awesome. It cuts down on packaging waste. You get a refillable tub, which is awesome. And then you do this. Also trail waste, you don't have all the wrappers. And also unintentional trail waste. I know quite often when you tear the little tab off the top of a gel, unwittingly you could drop that on the trail if you've just got this one container that doesn't have any of that, and then you can have another boost of refills in your drop bag, and off you go again. So all of this needs to go in the pack. So we'll start packing it, but there's a method behind how I would pack my race vest, and that is basically how I think I will need the product. If I have the day I hope to have, I'll need the least will be in the bottom of the pack, sealed in bags. The things I will need to access potentially more often will be either in the top half of the bag, or maybe in the front, or in these utility belts and in my shorts. So be mindful how you think you might need the various bits of kit. Okay, then let's start packing. Like I say, I'm pretty hopeful I will not need the head torch, and I will not need the compass, So this will go in this Ziploc bag. Put that down the bottom. Map will go in first. I always just kind of have that on my back along with the road book. Then we'll have the trousers packed away, long sleeve top, base layer. So they are things I'm hopeful I will never need. Emergency food, again, really don't think I'm going to need that. Bivy bag, again, mindful I won't need that. But what I will do, I don't think I'm going to use this cup. I will rely on my little soft cup. So I'll shove my bivy in there. That will save a bit of time. Got my mobile phone. Could keep that on you, but if it's raining, maybe you want to pop it in there. Keep it turned on, keep the volume up so people can hear you, sorry. That will go into there. Waterproof bottoms, first aid kit. Again, very good chance I'm not going to need this. So I'll pop those in there too. I will stuff that in my utility belt. Depending on the weather is how I would position these gloves, but for the purposes of this, I'll shove them in the backpack. I'll put the buff on my wrist. I'll also start the race, and I probably won't take this off because with the sale of the Lakeland 100, you start at 6 o'clock at night. So you're going to be running tonight. I'll start with that on my head. Spork will go somewhere handy too. You got the little whistle too. So we'll now just zip that up. And there you go, to be honest, that is all the kit in there. The good thing with having the map on the back, it takes maybe some of the harsher items away from your skin, so nothing is stabbing into you. You can, if you want to, put all that into a dry bag. So that's the back done. Now we'll flip it over and start looking at the front and side compartments. Just to get this out of the way, I will pop this on my hat because that's exactly where it is. I'll pop the little whistle in the side, but I would normally keep that closer to hand, but that shows that. I will put my buff on my wrist, fold the cup down, squash that into there too, and then the spork will go in one of these. Super easy. Now this will go in my utility belt. That will just stuff down into there. Yeah, you know, when you're running, your utility belt is going to look kind of quite big and bulging, but that's fine. It's all in there. That is awesome. Your bottle obviously will be filled with water. They've got these cool little pinchy tabs just on there, so that locks the bottle in. But then generally speaking, you just start stuffing things in. Got all your active root sachets in your shorts. There's still a couple of pockets spare. You've got your caffeine gels in there. Maybe, you know, I'd pop those in there just so they're at hand. And then the filled up active root gel mix, I would pop that in there too. And you know, you're going to be using those up, so over the course of the race, this will free up some space too also. And then you got a few more cheer charge flapjacks. Just stuff them in there. And I really like these ones because I know there's 27 grams of carb in there. The drinks, you know, you can obviously work out how much carbohydrate you get per drink and per gel, and it's easy just to work out how much fuel you need to get you from, in the Lakeland Hundreds case, from Coniston to Dalemain. Also, we're picking up stuff along the way. So that's it. Front and back is loaded. Obviously, the hydration soft flask is empty. That's fine. You know, I've not even put the poles. I've not used any of the other pockets in this utility belt, and sometimes it's kind of good to keep that free because you just not might like the way how things are kind of feeling on the day, so you've got some capacity there to move stuff around, and all the bits and bobs are in the shorts. Well, the last thing you need to do is come and give it a test. See if everything kind of bounces, moves, sits okay, so you can do any final tweaks before the big day. So I thought I'd just come out, do a couple of miles with the dog, and give it all a test. I'll just slow it down now. So yeah, I have to say that got my bottle filled up. Can't really see it, but I've got all the bits and bobs. Oh, the dog is tangling me up. Got all my bits and bobs in my utility belt. See if I can see it in my shorts there, all the active route down to the side here. I've got all my chia charge stuff, and there's still loads of room either side, so you can stuff even more food in. I don't think I will change anything from this setup. This is pretty much what I did Lakeland 100 this year, and if I'm fortunate enough to get in or do a different 100 miler, I will do the same again. I'm really curious how you guys set up your vest, if there's anything I've done which is kind of vastly different, or maybe you've learned something from this. Comment below, let me know anything, any changes that maybe I should make or I'd like to give it a go. Every day is a school day for me and our community, so any sharing is good. That's it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, hopefully it helped. If it did, please give it a like, share and subscribe. It really does help, you know. There's no point in my video being on the home screen for somebody who doesn't have any interest in outdoors, trail running and stuff like that. So your endorsement really does get it in front of the right people on YouTube. And if you did enjoy this video, maybe you want to check out some of my other videos. They're all the kind of same genre, and that would be awesome too. Right, I think that is it from me. You take care everybody, see you all soon.